Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome. I'm Badruddin Muhammad and you're watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television. These are the main stories making headlines. The President of Somaliland has met with the UK Minister of Africa Affairs. The Minister of Defense provided a report about Taleh district to the media. Arigafo Road Construction Committee traveled to Europe countries for work-related trip. Gunmen abducted over 100 students in northern Nigeria. The President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silayo, met with the UK Minister for Africa Affairs, Mark Simmons, to discuss the diplomatic relations between Somaliland and UK. The President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silayo, met with the UK Minister for Africa Affairs in his office. When the meeting was over, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohammed Bihi Yodis, spoke to the media to provide an information about the meeting, and he stated,
Your Excellency, Mr. Minister, on behalf of the government of Somaliland, on behalf of the President of Somaliland and the people of Somaliland, we would like to welcome you warmly to Somaliland. And Somaliland, as we have discussed, is very grateful for your visit. Somaliland and the UK have a historical relationship. We're very much happy that you are here with us today. We're also pleased with the support that we are getting from the British government and the resources that we are offering to our own people in terms of security, in terms of training, in terms of capacity building, in terms of development issues. The Minister is here today to sort of re-emphasize the importance of the relationship between Somaliland and Somaliland and UK, and the Minister reassured the Somalilanders that our relationship will be much stronger in the future. We will have a lot of things to do, and we have a lot of things in common. We do have a major Somaliland diaspora in the UK who are very much keen to come and do business here. We have discussed the issue of the business conference that will take place sometime soon in the UK for Somaliland. And we have discussed a lot on how we could cooperate on issues related between Somaliland and the UK. We have reassured the Minister today that Somaliland is a very peace-loving nation. We live in peace with our neighbors. We do not want any spoilers at all to be coming to this part of the world. We are working with the international community when it comes to issues of security. We are happy that Somaliland is a peaceful nation. We are having good talks with Somalia. We are all keen to see that Somaliland will support the international community when it comes to issues related to terrorism and the rest. And we want to reassure to the Minister that Somaliland will always maintain peace and stability and work hand in hand with its neighbors and with the international community. And we would like to be seen as a member of the international community. And as you know, Somaliland has called for its own independence 23 years ago. And that's our aim and that's our objective. And we would like the international community to respect and to support, because we have, I think, performed very well when it comes to democracy, to elections, to rule of law and the rest. So once again, Mr. Minister, welcome to Somaliland. And we would like to thank you for the visit and for the support that you are giving to us. Thank you very much.
On the other hand, the Minister of Africa Affairs for UK, Mark Simmons, also spoke to the media, and he mentioned that the meeting was extremely constructive and positive, and he stated,
Well, thank you, Minister, very much indeed. And could I begin by saying how pleased I am to be in Somaliland. This is my first visit, but I've always been keen to facilitate the relationship between the United Kingdom and Somaliland, to make sure that we can find ways to strengthen and deepen what is an historic and important relationship for the United Kingdom. And the meeting between the President, his ministers and myself has been extremely positive and constructive. We discussed a whole range of important issues between Somaliland and the United Kingdom, including reducing and lowering the travel advice which I'm pleased to announce that we will be able to do so, specifically related to Hargeisa and Berbera. We also discussed the importance of strengthening the relationship between Somaliland and the Somalilanders who live in the United Kingdom, using the expertise and the skills that the diaspora have to continue the development that is happening here in Somaliland. Also to facilitate a trade and investment conference in London to make sure that British businesses are aware of the opportunities that exist here in Somaliland. But also to encourage and ensure that there is continued development in the discussions that are taking place between Somaliland and Somalia, that there is a reducing of the tensions between Somaliland and Puntland, and that we urge restraint at this particular challenging time, and the United Kingdom will play its role in a constructive way to ensure that everybody is focused on the priorities, which is economic development and economic growth and job creation. And to that end, I can confirm that the Department for International Development's commitment of £95 million a year coming to Somaliland there is enormous confidence from the Department for International Development. So I can confirm there will be a continued programme here in Somaliland supporting the priorities of the government here in Somaliland to ensure that everybody here can benefit from economic development and economic growth, particularly aligned with the priorities of the government. And my visit so far has been a great success, and I've just had as I mentioned, a very constructive and warm discussion with the President and his ministers, confirming the importance that we all attach to the Somaliland-United Kingdom relationship.
A delegation headed by the Vice Chairman of the Erigafo Road Construction Committee traveled to Europe countries for work-related trip. A delegation headed by the Vice Chairman of the Committee for Erigafo Road Construction traveled to Europe countries. The delegation headed by the Vice Chairman of Erigafo Road Construction Committee, Abdurrahman Mohammed Talyanle, including the parliamentarian Ahmed Mohammed Diriye Nana, the Mayor of Erigafo Ismail Haji Noor Farah, and the Secretary of the Committee, Sharmarke Ahmed Mohammed. The two comedians, Soran and Jawan, is also including the delegation. The delegation provided an information to the media, and they explained the objectives of their visit to Europe and told to the media that they will participate the celebrations of 18 May in Europe. The Vice Chairman of the committee spoke to the media, and he mentioned that they will continue the fundraisings for Erigafo Road construction. The parliamentarian Ahmed Mohammed Diriye Nana and the Mayor of Erigafo Ismail Haji Noor Farah also spoke to the media. The Ministry of Defense provided a report about the situation of Taleh district. The Vice Minister of Defense Abdi Dahir Amoud held a press conference in his office. The Ministry of Defense of Somaliland substantiated the situation of Taleh district. The Vice Minister of Defense Abdi Dahir Amoud held a press conference at his office discussing the recent situation of Taleh district of Sol region. The Vice Minister mentioned that the situation of Taleh district is peaceful and secure. The minister told to the media that the society of Taleh district welcome the Somaliland National Army. The minister also warned Puntland against any interference to Somaliland territory. You are still watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And these are the international headlines in detail. Gunmen abducted over 100 students in northern Nigeria. More than 100 female students have been abducted by suspected Islamist insurgents in a raid on a secondary school in Nigeria's northeast Borno state. Gunmen thought to be members of Boko Haram carried off the teenage girls from the school in Jibok late in Monday night. The raid took place on the same day as a bomb attack killed at least 75 people on the edge of the capital Abuja. With elections due next February, President Goodluck Jonathan is under intense pressure to contain the 5-year insurgency, which is posing a growing security risk to Africa's top oil producer. The international news also including Eastern Crimea. Armored vehicles flying Russian flags have rolled into Sloviansk in eastern Ukraine. Pro-Russian militia already controlled the city's government and administrative buildings. It is believed the convoy is made up of troops from Ukrainian airborne division that have switched allegiance. One unnamed soldier involved in the column elaborated these Ukrainian paratroopers have switched to the people's side. You can see how many of us there are the self-defense army of Donbass. The situation in the east of the country, the former heartland of ousted President Viktor Yanukovych, is extremely tense. The situation in the east of the country, the former heartland of ousted President Viktor Yanukovych, is extremely tense. Authorities in Kiev and Western allies claim tens of thousands of Russian troops are now massed along Ukrainian's border. Many fear a Ukrainian crackdown on pro-Moscow protesters will spark a full-scale Russian military intervention. That's the end of our news. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.